Hey, welcome to EG. And this is the view from my Airbnb in Perpignan. This is the small little town side streets. I have a little balcony here, which I have not really been out on. It's been kind of chilly. In fact, we're supposed to get rain the next few days, so I'm going out today because I've been going out for a little bit of walks and just exploring my neighborhood the last couple of days, but finally over the jet lag, which took like 5 days. So I, I need to go out, and I'll talk more about that as the day progresses. So I'm in Doughty trying to get a computer, but I can't get any help. So I'm just sitting here watching big screen TVs for a minute, chilling. Let you know how this turns out. Laptop acquired. Got my Lenovo dans le sac. So now for lunch. This is where I'm going for lunch. Ristorante, pizza or pasta. So I'm back home, which is my Airbnb. It's just like a hotel room, basically. It's not much to see. It's got a bathroom with a washer in it, which is odd. I mean, it's an odd washer is what I mean. It's not like even a normal like front loader washer. It's weird, and it makes weird sounds when it's washing, but it worked, so hey. And then of course I have my clothes on a drying rack over here, which take forever to dry because I think there's probably more humidity in the air here. But anyway, I'm back from my shopping and lunch. I had to use an Uber to get there because there are taxis in this town, but it's like you have to be in a busy area to really hail a taxi. So they do have Uber, thank goodness, and I had to use an Uber to get over there, had to have an Uber get back. So I want to talk about my impression of today. Before I do, I'm going to do an unboxing of my computer here in a minute, so that'll still be on this video, but I just want to share my impressions of something. So I was very nervous about going to the computer store today, Doughty, because, my French is okay for like a restaurant or a grocery store or, something like that, but it's not good when talking about computers. So I was a little nervous, and it's called in French an ordinateur portable, but I think the short version is just portable, and people know what it is when you're in an appliance store apparently. So anyway, I go into this store, which is just like any store in, a major city or whatever that has appliances including computers, and but there was almost no help, so I had to wait for probably half an hour to get assistance, which again, I was just being patient with, because you have to just go with the flow in the culture. So this man eventually came up and he asked me if I needed help, and so we started speaking in French, but I said, my French is not good. So he said, oh, I speak English. And I was like, thank goodness. Because in Perpignan, there's not as many people who speak English. When you're in Paris, everybody speaks English. So if you don't speak French well, there's always somebody to help you and, deal with that. But yeah, he spoke English, and he was so nice. His name was Jean-Pierre. And anyway, we both spoke both languages at the same time, kind of thing, is how we were communicating. So he would say something in English, I would answer in French, and then I would try to say something in French, and he would answer in English. So it worked great. Anyway, I found a computer, like I said, I'll show you in the unboxing, very similar to my old computer, a Lenovo. Not sure why I got the same brand. Well, because I'd been really happy with it till it decided not to function. And it was very inexpensive. I paid about the same price as I would in the US. So, incroyable. But anyway, I'd already decided on the computer before I even got assistance. So he basically just got everything purchased for me, and we did through all of that. But then, so he couldn't have been nicer. But then I had to go up to the counter to retrieve the computer because it's in the back in stock, and you have to take your receipt up, and then somebody gets you the computer. So the lady up there, I initially just said, bonjour, madame, and I showed her my receipt, and she went to the back to get it. But when she came back, she asked me a question in French that I didn't even understand. So I said, je ne comprends pas. I said, parlez-vous anglais? Then she got real, negative towards me. Let's just put it that way. Like I could see the disgust on her face. And so she got her phone and had to put into translate because she was asking me if I wanted to buy an antivirus program. Well, I already have an antivirus program that I can load on this computer. So of course I didn't want to buy another one. And so, I answered, well, no, I basically told her I had that already. And she was like, oh. And so then then I had to ask her, and I asked in French if she had a bag for the computer, and I actually got a neoprene kind of case for it because it wasn't in a case before, and I'm thinking maybe that's some of the reason it got jostled too much. So I got a little case, a very soft case thing that you can just put it in your luggage or something. But anyway, she just was nasty. So in the same store, I had the nicest person and then the nastiest person, based on the fact that I, spoke English, basically. And so that was interesting. And then it was also a study in contrast with my Uber driver. So the first Uber driver I got this morning to go over there was so nice. And his name was Sasa, and he couldn't have been nicer. And when we started speaking in French in the car, he said, "Oh, do you speak English?" And I went, "Well, yes." And he said, "Oh, I like to speak English." So he insisted on speaking English with me, but couldn't have been nicer. Was telling me the good places to stay away from, or the bad places to stay away from in town. The safer spots, things like that. He was being really sweet. And he was probably a young man in his late 30s, something like that. So anyway, he dropped me off. Couldn't have been nicer. On the way back, I get a different Uber driver who barely said anything to me. I mean, we said, bonjour and, that kind of thing. But other than that, he didn't really say anything to me. So I don't know if he thought I was an English speaker, and therefore he was just being reserved, and sometimes that's what people do. So it's already an interesting study in contrasts, what I'm experiencing with the attitudes, and that's part of what I'm going to share on this channel. Like, what's my experience with people out there, no matter wherever I am, whatever city I'm in. I'm going to share with you what my interactions are like. The restaurant I went to, it was okay food. It was actually an Italian restaurant in a French city. And, eating a lot of Italian food in my life because my family was Italian, I have to say, it was okay. But the waiter was very sweet, very nice. I think he sensed that I was, spoke English, but he still spoke French to me, which was great. And everything was good. And it was a very clean restaurant, very nice ambiance. So that was my experience today out in the world. I actually, after I do my unboxing, I think, and I got to work on getting my computer up. And as soon as I do, by the time you see this, I will have probably already gotten it working, fingers crossed, and I will have done a live stream. So you will know a lot more of what's going on. But I wanted to share with you, after I do that, I'm probably going to run to the neighborhood market, get another bottled water, and maybe a little bit more. I'm in this thing where I just go to the market every day, just like the local people do. And you just get 2 or 3 things. One thing I wanted to share, and I may have already said this in a video, is that food prices, if you are one of my viewers in the US, mon Dieu, Food prices here are so low. So low. I got so many items at the store the first day I was here. I probably got 8 or 9 items. Now, in the US, in most places in the US, you know that most grocery stores, anything you buy nowadays is at least $4 or $5. So if you get 8 or 9 items, let's say even if let's be generous and say at $4 each, that's like $36 possibly for 9 items, minimum. I got 8 or 9 items for €20. So it's not quite half, but it's a lot lower. Then the next day I bought some eggs. I know. So I hope you're sitting down. I got 6 eggs for less than €2. Yeah. So just think about that for a second. So that is making me very happy right now, the prices of food. And the restaurant I went to today, which was not like a super fancy place, my lunch was €10, including an iced tea, and I had a pasta dish. So €10. So I'm very pleased with the prices for that kind of thing here. I love going to the market and just like standing there and looking at the prices and just being amazed. So I really feel your pain back in the US, because obviously until a week and a half ago or whatever, until recently, I was feeling that too. So I'm glad to know that that's one sticker shock I'm not having over here, at least so far. It might be different when I go to Dijon. It might be different in Munich. It might be different in the UK. I'll report to you whatever it is I find. But anyway, let me set up for my unboxing now. Here's the computer box. I just slid this out. So I gotta take these off. I'm having to hand hold this stick, you know, for filming. I need to get used to obviously not using anything fancier because I can't carry it in my luggage. So here's the computer. Et voila. It looks so much like my old one. I think it's the same model, even I don't know. But ta-da! But let me show you this. French keyboard. That means the letters are not all in the same place. Some of them are. Like the T, H, E are in the right place. The A is not. I think the bottom row is good. Maybe not. I don't remember where the Z normally is. I'll have to look at my other keyboard and see what's different. But I think there's 4 or 5 letters that are different on a French keyboard. So this is going to require an adjustment. But that's okay. I don't do heavy typing on, you know, on this. So it should be all right for me. I guess if I looked at my phone or whatever, I'll look at my other computer and see. I think right now this computer is a little lighter than my other one was. Basically the same deal. So anyway, I got to set that up. When that's set up, I'll get back to you and let you know that we had success, hopefully. Check it out. We have liftoff. We have our computer going, set up. Lucy has been assisting right here. You know, she's always great at this. And yeah, I had to change even though the keyboard is technically a French keyboard, I was able to change it. When I use it like a regular keyboard with like touch typing, it's set up for English. So I don't even have to look at the keyboard. I just go with what I remember. And then I changed the language to English. So the only thing that marks it as occasionally things still pop up in French because it knows that I'm in France. But the main thing is that the plug, you know, to charge it, is a French plug, a European plug, basically. So I don't know if I can, I assume I can, perhaps use the plug from my other one to plug into the computer and then use it in an American plug. So I'll have to see if that works. I don't want to fry. I do not want to risk frying this computer. Still upset about the other one. So yeah, so we got that going, and I just went to the marché, supermarché. Well, actually, not the supermarché, the mini marché, which is just around the corner, and got some camembert cheese and some fresh bread to have as a snack this afternoon. So, yeah, I'm addicted to the French bread. And so far, my tummy's doing okay. So maybe it is the American gluten that's the problem. Okay, I'll pick up with you later. Can we take a moment to appreciate French cheese, camembert, and some French bread? As that's my dinner tonight. So, oh, look who appreciates it. Lucy. She loves French cheese. So, bon appetit.